We're Manitowoc singers, three of us today, and I'm Adebaro Kichirakwe Makwador from Mississaugas of Credit, and I've lived here all my life, and it's located in southern Ontario. Manitowoc means Spirit Bear Singers, so we're a bear clan. My daughters have sang since they could speak, and I've been singing since I was about 27 traditional songs. And this is
I'm Ganayo Hadesa Waihawi, she who brings the strawberries, or Mara.
Ani Winabuju, Pagoji, Jamane, Wawaskuna Sankwe, Makorodom, New Credit Donjaba, meanwhile Six Nations, Donjaba, Mississauga, and Dow. My name is Wild Blue Purple Flower Woman. I'm from Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and my father's Ungwahoi Mohawk from the Six Nations of the Grand River, and I follow my mom, she's Bear Clan. So we're gonna sing an opening song for this event. Bewitch.
Snake Youngets, Ungwali Niwagit Delodet, Ganyongeha Niwagahonjota. Hello, my name is Vince, and today I'm going to be saying the Thanksgiving address in my native language. We say the Thanksgiving address before all of our gatherings to give thanks to everything. Gananda, again, Scott Dance, Watan CEO, Sky Hoy Go, Owada, Nehandoi Hokando, Sungwai Diso, Sungwawi, Ganyohanyo. Ne Oeza, Scano, Dueno, Daniel, Nedine, and Dwayhik, Ehiat, Scott, and Dwayant, and Guatni Gohat, Scott, the Dorno Hanyot, Nitigan Yokto, Guatni Gohat, Dane and Dachoi se Owenzade. Dunohat de Dunhoquat Neguatot se Niat Nedine Induehek Guego de Dunoniot Nitaganioto Watuhat Dane One Dachoi Tiso Hadidronotige Snake Neat and Deka Gakwages Hoskake de Goat said Watchat the said Dunohoquat Dan Neguatone Soheka Unita Atiso de Atinohoquat Nadine Induehek Guego de Atinohania Nituganioto Guatnigohat Dane One and Rachowi Ganigage Hadihia Kiono Netioki Ido Scano Duanotunio Nadine Induehek de Atinohio Hadihia Kiono Dioki Ido Nituganioto Guatnigohat Dane and Rachowi Setaguane Scanidaio Hoytwane Tatwaza Nitisai White Set now set down Hank or hit the hot day on Ishiget, Nadine and Dwayhik, the Sedronohania, Sedroguanes, Kenny Dio, Nitiganio, Watney Gohat, Dane, Dachoi, How Hot Gate, Gal Hide, Hanaga, Singwayudiso, Nitso, Tot Sent Dot, Nitscano, Duanotinio, Nadine and Dwayhik, the Atinohania, Gal Hide, Hanaga, Singwayudiso, Nituganio, Watney Gohat, Danito, Nigatguini, Eget, a guy get that, Danito.
Hi, can you hear me? Well, I'm very honored to be a part of this day. This day does not have to be just one day for Solidarity Day. Every day is Indigenous Day. Every day is a time of being a human being. That's who we are as Indigenous people, because Indigenous is connected to the land, and so let's celebrate. Let's give a big shout for people being connected again to the land. And so as this day, I want to say welcome, welcome, because it is in the time of the strawberry moon. And this identifies with that love, the Creator's love. And so at this time, we're going to all gather together and we're going to share this abundance of love that our people, that our ancestors have, that they gave to us so that we still can be here, the resilient. So let's celebrate our resilience. Let's celebrate who we are as original people. Let's celebrate that our ancestors have been so strong in their bloodline so that we are here today. And so welcome to all of you that are going to share your love, share your gifts with the people so that we can bring peace, we can bring hope, and we can bring compassion and caring once again, as we had done when the first visitors came. So let us begin by singing, dancing, and sharing, speaking of that love that we have for Yidistaha Yonhonzari, our Mother the Earth, and all creation, and especially for Sankoya Diso, the one who has created all. And so to each and every one of you, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let us all learn how to be, as they say, human again. Let us be there to share and give from our hearts, to talk from our hearts, and to listen from our hearts so that we can create a better world. So celebrate today and celebrate every day. That's why the birds sing every morning, is to celebrate. So take care. And it is so good to see so many of us that have come together to share this beautiful gift of love for all. And so I want to say, take care and take each day as a day of thanksgiving and celebration of Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous ways of reconnecting to our Mother the Earth. Oh, take care.
Scano. My name is Haley, and today I will be talking about why I like living in Six Nations. I like living in Six Nations because it's very nice, and there's a lot of nice people. The community has a lot of beautiful buildings. There are a lot of places to go, but my favorite place to go is the Gaylord Palace Arena because I like to go skating and let people play hockey. I also love that a lot of my family lives in Six Nations, so I can visit them a lot. I love that I can learn my language at my school or any other place. When you go outside, you can see trees, flowers, and a lot of birds. I like that all of my friends live in Six Nations so I can see them lots. I love my house because my mom, my dad, my big brother, my big sister, my little brother, and my baby brother live there so I can see them all day. I like that I have a creek behind my house so when you go fishing it won't be a long drive. I like to go fishing with my family because they are very, very funny and nice. My favorite part of all Six Nations is my family. Pretty much my whole family lives here, so I can see them lots. Even the house we live on is the property that was once my great-great-great-grandpa's farm. That's why I love my community so much. Thank you very much. Sego, Whitney Yungia, Tagwali Nyongidro, Tenga Yungahan Yungahonjota. Hello, my name is Whitney. I am Bear Clan in Mohawk Nation. Today I'll be talking about what I like doing in the community. One thing is I like to learn my native tongue at school. Another thing is I get to learn native traditions and traditional teachings at home, at school, and with my friends. One of my favorite things is learning the history of the Haudenosaunee people. One of the things I enjoy is listening to people talk in the language. I like wearing ribbon skirts and moccasins because I love the designs on them. I am glad that I have the opportunity to learn native traditions, speak the language, and learn traditional dances. I am glad that I can speak the language with my friends and family at home and school. One thing that I really like is spending time with my friends and family. My favorite thing to do with my family is go fishing at the back of our house in the creek. A thing I like doing with my friends at school is climbing on the monkey bars with my friends. I like playing hockey with my friends at the Gala Palace Arena, also known as the GPA. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to you. I wish you a happy Solidarity Day. Thank you.
So Bihu, c'est Isaac Dishnakaz, Majikia Dodam, Bikachunong Dunjava. My name is Cecil Isaac. I am from Walpole Island, and I am Turtle Clan. And today it's one of these great days to celebrate unity and bringing people together, bringing voices together, bringing thought together, bringing our spirit together. And when I think about spirit, I think about medicine wheel. And when we start thinking about medicine wheel, we're talking about our connection that we've forgotten, and some of us had a rough time with that because of our history. And a lot of our history is because of residential school, and that sort of looked at replacing our spirituality with a different teaching. So with this, where we're at in history right now with this pandemic, it's isolating who we are from the rest of our community in many different ways. So for me, when I had an opportunity to sit and talk with other people, we talked about that physical distance of where we are and who we are, because we're a group, we're a clan, we're a community, we're a nation of people that belong together and it's fairly difficult to isolate sometimes in those many different ways. So physically, there's one of the big things that we had to contend with, which is part of the medicine wheel. How does that affect us emotionally? In many different ways, it affects our emotions, and we start thinking a lot of things, but we forget sometimes that we always have that support of our Geshamnido in our language, our Creator, or the Great Mystery. And with that, we start to look at the emotions, the feelings, and the mental part of all of these things, and they start playing a part on who we are. And I find that throughout this, a lot of the Indigenous knowledge keepers that I've been talking with, we had an opportunity to think about our connection, our spiritual connection, and that's what's going to get us through all of this. So if you have that spiritual connection, and we're saying it, sometimes we look at our spiritual connections not just in our traditional means, but in our spiritual connection of who we are. Because our way, when we start talking about those values of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, we also have to remind ourselves of those other gifts that were given to us. The gift of humility, truth, wisdom, honesty, love, respect, and courage, which are the grandfather teachings. So in that, we have to respect a lot of different things that came into our world from way back when, and even the philosophers foreseeing that someday this world would be into this point where there are a number of nations brought together. So we talk about diversity. We talk about how we can accomplish other things in this diverse world that we live in. A lot of it boils back to our individuality of who we are. And that's very important, that we have to start to look and appreciate who we are. So we have to be able to look at ourselves as Haudenosaunee, as Anishinaabe, as Lenape, Lenape people, to bring that back and look in that mirror and look at the beauty that we bring every day to our own lives and to the lives around us. And that's part of the teaching that we've been able to talk about and converse about with other Indigenous knowledge keepers. And I'm very proud to be able to be part of this. It's something that we have to continue to bring together, not just on this day, but all the days, because coming up in that next summer, it's going to be a different kind of summer. And for us, we really have to look at that and be cautious about where we're going with that as individuals. So we have to be able to take care of ourselves. And right now, the law and the rule of today is that we just have to take care of ourselves like we get from the animals. We have to wash. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to be worried about what the air that we breathe. So there are things to help us, those masks and those different hand sanitizers, plus to be able to come back and don't bring that into our house. So again, it's a different time, but I know we can get through it, and this is the one way we can get through it, is together, as nation to nation, as community to community, as clan to clan. So I give credit to the people who had this dream, who had this thought, and bring it here today for us to be able to just sit back and listen and enjoy the youth. You know, all ages of people are coming here with all these different skill bases. So as a Mishomis, as a great grandfather, I look forward to those generations and what they have to offer us and what they can bring us. So Chumigwach for having me be here and say a few things at this point in time. And so I wish everybody all the best in the future. I look forward to the day that we can come together again and shake hands and embrace and be brothers and sisters the way that our Gajamdo had meant us to be. So Chumigwach, mi'il.
Tani Shi, it's nice to be here with everyone today. My name is Rebecca Wilson. Johnson, and I'm a Métis children's book author. It was really beautiful earlier hearing from those two young ladies from Six Nations that they're learning their language. And at 32 years old, I'm in the process of trying to learn some Michif, which is a lost language. And what I want to share with you today is just a little bit about my journey of discovering my identity. So I discovered that my family had Métis heritage when I was about 15 years old. And my journey since then has taken many, many different roads. And, I'm excited now that, it's become a huge part of my identity. And one of the greatest inspirations behind that for me has been my great-grandfather, and his name was Rudy Couture Sr., and he discovered his Métis heritage, or really embraced his Métis heritage when he was 80 years old. So he grew up hiding his heritage and not wanting to be proud of it because it was something that was not, you weren't meant to be proud of. And one of my last memories of him was him sitting in his pink chair in the corner, and he looked at me and he said, "Becky, one day I'm going to leave this corner of the world, but I want to make sure that I leave something behind for you, and I want to leave behind for you my pride in who I am, and I want you to continue to be proud of who you are." And so the greatest learning that I got out of that was that it's never too late. I've continued to learn about my heritage for the last, over half of my life now. And I'm really excited to be able to share in this summit with everyone and learning about your heritage and your story. And I just really want to encourage any of you out there who, have maybe discovered this later in your life, or are still learning, that it's a beautiful journey to be on. And I'm really excited to hear from all of you and what you have to share, and your hope for the future as well. So, Marcy, miigwech.
Hello. Ani Bushu, Matthew Isaac, Indigenous. My name is Matthew Isaac, and I hail from Sarnia First Nations. Lead singer of Crazy Spirit. I've been singing for many years now. I just want to share a song with everybody out there today. Hope everybody's having a great day. Enjoying yourselves, enjoying this broadcast here. So this song I composed myself a few years ago. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
We see you. We had some people come in and visit. That's all right. They're coming up in a couple of minutes. We have an open door policy here, and everyone's showing up. That's exciting. Sorry for the interruption, but hey, we love it.
It's hard to sing, and then I heard something. I couldn't tell if someone's trying to talk to me or if the volume was good or not.
No, it was good. Are you going to share one more with us?
Yeah, I can. Now that I know that it was just somebody coming in to check it out.
Yeah, of course they were. They were cute too.
All right, but the volume's okay?
Yeah, the volume was okay. We have a few people. We're a few minutes behind with some technical issues, but please share one more with us, and then we're happy to invite our next guest.
All right, sounds good. I'll sing a sidestep song for you guys here.
Right on. We'll dance over here for you. Woo! Chi-miigwech.
I just want to thank you for having me here to be able to share a few songs. I just want to share a few words. I think a lot of this has to do with love itself. You know, love is a very powerful thing. You need to love yourself, love one another, love all of creation. And with that, you know, many things will come, such as unity and peace amongst all our nations. I'm a rhymist. So yeah, have a good day. Say Chi-miigwech. Much love.
Wow. Twa kakiao. Nasiga son kiskao pisamuasa segwa wikas kotsinia. Nago etse kotsinia mina. Egwa sipi winoa kotsinia. Friends and relatives, that was such beautiful music. I was dancing here in my living room at Sweetgrass First Nation, where I am today. It's such a pleasure to see you and to be with you on Indigenous Peoples Day Eve, one of the most important days of the year. I come to share with you a very brief message in my home community, surrounded by my people, my family, and my stories, about the story that happened when newcomers first arrived here. I get the great pleasure of traveling all across the country. And whenever I go new places, I always ask about that story of first contact, that story of how this relationship began. And so often what knowledge keepers or storytellers tell me is that the relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people were rooted in very similar things at the beginning. Now, these things that happened at Sweetgrass, just like they happened at different parts of the country, newcomers came, saw how beautiful these lands were, saw Indigenous people living, thriving, having distinct and sophisticated societies already here. They were new to these lands. They didn't know how to live here. Some of them had gotten sick on their travels over here. Indigenous people healed them with our medicinal knowledge. From there, a relationship began, one of commerce, of trading. There was the foundation of this relationship that then brought forward in so many places a treaty. The principles of that treaty relationship were based on peace, prosperity, and mutual benefit. These were the three foundations that were the cornerstone for what we call Canada today. Now, of course, somewhere along the way, we got lost. We stepped off the path of peace, prosperity, and mutual benefit. And instead, what Indigenous people received were residential schools. The systemic racism, which is a conversation which is gripping our country right now, and this inequality. I know so many of you on today are teachers, are people who work with children, people who have a lot of responsibility in shaping that next generation. Oh, the message of hope and unity that I've been asked to share with you is to reflect on that story, to reflect on your responsibility and remind you that there is nothing more beautiful than peace, prosperity, and mutual benefit. You're helping to shape young minds. You're helping to shape the views of the next generation of leaders. What a heavy responsibility that is. You know, on National Indigenous Peoples Day, I would urge everyone to reflect on what we want to see in the next 150 years, in the next generations. As our elders always say, we have to be looking at the 7 generations that are still yet to come. It's my vision, and I hope a vision that you share, that somehow through our teachings, through our classrooms, and through our curriculum, we can find a way back to peace and prosperity and mutual benefit. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Kigutuk Metcalf. I am 16 and my family originates from Labrador and Nunavut.
Hello everyone, my name is Kaylin Enoch de Grand Prairie. I am 15 years old and my family originates from Breaker Lake, Nunavut. And together we are Tanakik.
So today we are doing Inuit throat singing, and Inuit throat singing is traditionally a game done between 2 women or girls. Whoever laughs or messes up first loses.
The first song that we'll be doing is called The Poor Little Dog. The story behind this song is that a girl had a pack of pups and everyone told her that the runt of the litter would die through the winter. So she sang the song every night to the pup for strength and encouragement, but then it became the leader of the pack.
Thank you, everyone. The next song that we will be doing is called Seagull. This song is supposed to be imitating the sounds of seagulls communicating. So I think we have time for one more song, so we will do competition. And this song, I can do whatever I want to make Kaylin laugh, which usually never works because she's really good. Thank you, everyone, and in this world, I hope that we all get equality.
I hope that one day us Indigenous peoples deserve get the respect that we deserve. Nakumik Irali. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
So, you know, we were really trying not to do the MC approach to this, but it's inevitable that that Sherry and I and Raven, we have to show up and show everyone who Grandmother's Voice is. And it's timely, Jay, because you're awesome.
Kwe Jay Ojik Indigenous. Hello, my name is Jay Ojik. I'm an Algonquin artist, writer, and television producer from the Kitigan-Zibi and Anishinaabe community, about an hour and a half outside of Ottawa. And I've been at this game for more years than I care to admit at this point. I'm older than I look, but I think I'm most widely known for creating a graphic novel that I wrote and drew called Kagagi the Raven, which was adapted into a television series that aired in Canada on APTN, in the United States on FNX, and in Australia on a network there called NITV. In more recent years, and I think I'm probably more widely known for having illustrated two best-selling books written by author Robert Munch for Scholastic, and they're called Black Flies and Bear for Breakfast. And Bear for Breakfast is a bit different from Black Flies, and we'll talk about why. One thing both of those books do have in common is they both feature all native casts of characters, and they're both set in First Nations communities. Black Flies, I think, was an important work in that way because you could go into pretty much any bookstore across the country and find Black Flies, find a book on any store shelf with an all-native cast of characters set in the First Nations community. And that was important to me because if you would have told me as a kid that I could do that, I don't think I would have believed you. I think it's a really important work, and it's something I'm very proud to have been involved in and proud of my work on. At the same time, though, once we did Black Flies, I had told Scholastic that I thought we could do something a bit more, because with that book, Robert and I have waived our right to any royalties for First Nations communities who want to publish the book in their own Indigenous languages. And at the same time, I think that's fantastic, and Scholastic is willing to help those communities in terms of getting hooked up with a printer and to get that done. But I think we can do a bit more, and I think it has to come from people within industries, and especially the entertainment industry, in order to change things. Because like I said, as a child, I never saw myself reflected, or if I did, it wasn't positively in entertainment, whether that was film, television, comic books, whatever. And I think it's important that we do see positive depictions of ourselves. So coming in from Black Flies, where I think we accomplished that in a pretty positive, fun way, moving into Bear for Breakfast, I said, okay, well, why don't we take it a step further? Because while we're making it possible for Indigenous communities to reprint these books and publish them in their own languages, why don't we publish the book in an Indigenous language? So to that end, we had Bear for Breakfast translated and published in Algonquin on launch. So day one, it was available in Algonquin across the country. And at the time, it was actually the number 200 selling book on Amazon Canada. Not in its category, but overall, which is mind-blowing to me. But I think, like I said, that's what it takes. It takes us being willing to try new things. It takes publishers and companies trying new things and trying to push the border, because diversity is something that we need in order for us to really get an accurate depiction of our world, and in order for us to really understand the times that we're in and the environment that we're in. And I think once we start to look around the world and we see all the different, beautiful, diverse cultures and stories that people have, that's when we can really actually appreciate the beauty of our world. And I know it's been a challenging time recently for a lot of people, insofar as things that are going on with quarantine, with lockdown, and COVID-19. And more recently, with everything we're seeing right now in terms of like racial division, especially in the United States, but it's here in Canada as well. And I feel for you guys, because while you have youth today have an unprecedented access to information, at the same time, you're also the first generation who has always been online and is seeing all the negativity and all the clapback and all the trolls, everything. So it's important to step away from social media and the internet at times if you need to. Don't be shy about that. If you're having a hard time and you're dealing with all this stuff, don't be shy to reach out. I think the most important thing I can say about that is, if we're all in it together, then none of us can ever truly be alone. And I think it's important right now that, like I said, we not only stop, take a look at each other, take a look at the beauty that our languages, our cultures have to offer one another, but also take a really good look at one another and see each other for what we are. And I think if we do that, we can see that not only are we all human beings, but the true beauty of human beings is our own stories, our own past, our own culture, and the things that we have to offer one another, and the things that we can learn from one another. And I think it's time that we start narrowing those gaps and coming together. And I hope we can use this time as a positive and bring people together on a scale that is unprecedented. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you to the organizers of this for having me involved. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace. Take care. Bye.
My name is Golnaz Golnaraghi, and I'm Social Enterprise Lead with Sheridan Edge. What does truth and reconciliation mean to me? It means continuing to educate myself about Indigenous histories and how those histories continue to impact Indigenous communities today. I work hard to seek out writings and works of Indigenous authors and directors, as well as activists. As someone who's committed to supporting the entrepreneurship ecosystem and an entrepreneur myself, I take time to learn about Indigenous entrepreneurs, their businesses, amplify them, as well as support them as a customer as well, all in service to Indigenous leadership, Indigenous excellence, and Indigenous economic growth.
To me is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to educate myself, about the journey of Indigenous communities, about the history, and to keep an open mind as well, and also to be empathetic and compassionate.
Means giving everyone opportunities to listen and learn about the lives and stories of Indigenous people, and hopefully through reconciliation we can build better relationships and move towards a future that has a lot more love, empathy, and consideration.
Truth and reconciliation means a lot to me because it has helped me to feel proud and free to express my own cultural identity as an immigrant from Hong Kong, a place that has also felt the effects of colonization. It's so inspiring to see the strength and resilience that's demonstrated in the face of the horrors of the past and in the inequalities of today's society. I'm here to support the work that still needs to be done. Thank you. Miigwech.
I'm Pam DeMoff, the Member of Parliament for Oakville North Burlington. I want to start by acknowledging that we're on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. On this National Indigenous Peoples Day, it's a time of both reflection and hope, reflecting on the past and the damage that colonialism has caused. As Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Indigenous Services, I am also hopeful as I work with Indigenous peoples across the country on this path to reconciliation as we walk it together. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Hey!
Am I back?
Yes!
Oh, great.
We see you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, very happy to be here. I finally see myself the video. So, yeah, so here I am. I'm just working on the painting for today. I'll show you a good close-up of what I'm working on here.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh Moses.
Okay.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's truly an honor to be able to create this piece for this event. And here I am nestled in my little sanctuary, the front yard of my home. And I got some artwork that I got on the back here just so that everybody can kind of see. I don't know if everybody can see that. I'll just move that right there like that. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep painting here while the summit's still rolling on. It's great to see everybody and hear all the special presentations. It's so inspiring for sure. And yeah, it's just truly the honor to be here today to be able to create this beautiful painting. And once again, use my art as an expression of the theme of the events, and of course, weaving the braid of unity, depicting peace, love, and hope, which is a very, very important message, especially at this time. Yeah, we're in unprecedented times, and it's really something to really kind of sit back and think about where we're going to go from here. And but it's good to be able to reconnect to our culture, our teachings, our learnings, and take and learn as much as we can, so that our walk of the Red Road is a good walk. It's a good way of life. And to acknowledge those teachings every day, to be able to have those working in our lives. And I myself, I do a lot of work in communities, creating art with a lot of people, and it's so great to see, because we all have gifts. And I realized I had a gift when I was a youngster, when I was a young boy. And as I mentioned before, I was very fortunate to come from a very creative family, to have this gift nurtured, and now I share it with a lot of people. And this is a new way for me to share my work. I'm going online, and this truly is a unique experience. A little rough start today, but hopefully I'll get into the swing of things as I do this more often. Once again, thank you for tuning in today. I'll be back into the program a little bit later on to show you the progress of the painting here, and I'll show you the end result at the end. Miigwech, everybody.
Quingina Lomwa, Nida Shinzi Cameron, Walk Nida Shinzi de Quaque, Nino Giai, Alna Pewi, Lakawi, Nilana Peque. Hello, my name is Cameron. It is also Turtle Woman. I'm from Delaware Nation, and I'm a Delaware woman. I'd also like to acknowledge all of our relations as well: the land, the water, the air, the animals, and the humans. Our ancestors that came before us that are deeply rooted in our DNA. Today I will be addressing what Indigenous Solidarity Day means to me. Like every other recognition day within mainstream society, we have a day to celebrate a historic event or beliefs, like Christmas, for example. Today we celebrate and recognize Indigenous culture. I feel that this should be celebrated and acknowledged not just today, but every day. We are not a belief system or a historic event. We are people of the land. Too often this recognition gets pushed aside. Within every system of the power structures of our everyday lives, Indigenous people and people of color are not acknowledged for their existence. These systems and structures are not made for Indigenous people. Yet our people have adapted and have been succeeding within a Western setting. Our Indigenous people are walking in both worlds, continuing to showcase our resilience. When the wampum belt was first introduced by the Haudenosaunee to the Europeans, it was to showcase both of the groups as equals, to have one ship as the European way of life on a row, and to have one canoe as the Haudenosaunee way of life on the other row. Many of the nations across this territory have adopted these teachings brought on by the Haudenosaunee. As Indigenous people, we see each other as equal and to stay on our own row, our own path, and our own journey. Too often throughout history, the colonial ship has veered into our lane, and we cannot coexist when this happens. As allies and educators, it is your job to have those uncomfortable conversations about colonialism within classrooms. It is your job to shed light on the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls Two-Spirit Plus QIA. It is your job to hold that space to amplify Indigenous voices. There needs to be more safe spaces within these institutions. As allies and educators, we acknowledge and thank you for already doing the work. Please continue to stand up and stand with Indigenous people and people of color. If we are going to weave the braid of unity, we cannot use the word reconciliation without a plan to listen, collaborate, and acknowledge consent of our consultation. My hope for the future is bright. By addressing faults in the system, we are capable of changing a Western mindset of these structures to a mindset that is more open to all people of color. To my Indigenous youth watching, you are capable of anything in this world. Today and every day is your day. Whether you want to reconnect to your culture, become a doctor, or be an artist, you are capable because you have the strength of your ancestors. Let's always celebrate our bloodline resistance and never stop using our voices. We will no longer be ignored, and our youth will provide that strength to carry forth the next generation. You are powerful, and your gifts are needed on this earth. Continue to strive in whatever your journey may hold. I will end my address with a powwow song. This gift was given to me by my mom. In our traditional homelands, our Lenape people didn't powwow. As Lenape, we are victim to culture loss due to colonization. We have kept this powwow tradition alive in our community for 47 years, and we will continue to keep it alive because it is our adapted way of life. Today is a day to not just be reminded of the many struggles and injustices that we face as a group. It is a day to be reminded of our strength as nations. Our presence is deeply felt throughout society, and we will continue to honor our commitments of defending the land in all relations. There is still work to be done around the topic of education and Indigenous people. Let's continue to be kind and support one another through this journey of learning. Anishik kishal mokwang almilian yonkwai kishgweek anishik matchgish daptona anishik. Be safe and stay well. Thank you.
Hi there everybody, my name is Adam Van Couverden. I'm the Member of Parliament for Milton, Ontario, and I'm joining you here today on the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. I wish we could be together today to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day, but we're doing it virtually, and that's okay. There's so much to celebrate, and we're here for a common purpose and on a common theme. We should be celebrating Indigenous contributions to our communities every single day, but this is one to celebrate together in this forum. So I wanted to say thank you, miigwech, nakarmik, merci to everybody out there who's celebrating today, and I hope that we can do it in person sometime soon. All the very best.
We are taught to look 7 generations ahead and do things in a good way to leave a better world for each of those generations to come. Working in education has given us the opportunity to create a world where our future generations, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, will not only learn true history, but create schools that embrace Indigenous identities and cultures.
We see challenges in today's world, but we also see infinite possibility. It's our youth that will be the change we need. They infuse the power and energy that we need to put change into action.
The youth are our future leaders. By them inheriting their cultural values will guide them on a path to success.
We can see the future is bright because of the confidence we see in them. In love and unity from the Greater Essex County District School Board Open Minds team.
This is not. Oh, here we go. Hi, here we go.
Hey, there you are.
Sorry, I'm so old school trying to understand all of this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you here. You know what? We're just going to show up so you can see us. We can hear you. This is so fabulous. We are going to rock technology, all right? Today is the day. In the energy of the solstice, we are rocking this together. Hey, Grandma.
Hi to you two beautiful ladies in the background.
Hello. All right, go to town. I'm so happy you made it here. Thielen, you are patiently waiting, and we're really excited to see you next. So, but Tracy, please share your love.
All right. Uh-oh, what happened?
No, we can see you.
Oh, okay. All right. Bonjour. Wabaskisko Nikan Kai Tabit, Nishnakaz, Makododam, Dunjaba, Lenape Nation, Lenny Lenape, Nishnawbe Koyandao. And what I said is my spirit name is Polar Bear Woman Who's Looking Ahead. And the nation I come from is the Delaware Nation, the Lenape Nation. That's near Thamesville, Ontario. We live along the Thames River. I'm Bear Clan. I follow the matriarchy system. So my mom originally comes from Cape Croker First Nations. And so you can probably hear my beautiful granddaughter in the background. She's my little teacher. And so today I wanted to deliver the message in the topic of weaving the braid of unity and of peace, love, and hope. And so first thing I think of when I see that weaving is that sweetgrass braid. And that sweetgrass braid is such an important medicine of all of the medicines of from our medicine wheel teachings. And it's the hair of our Mother Earth. And it's the reason why we're here. Because when you look at that sweetgrass, how strong and beautiful and connected it is to Mother Earth. And then when we go out there, we're interconnecting with our Mother Earth that's creating unity, peace, love, and hope. And so when we pick that sweetgrass, first we offer our tobacco. But when we pick that sweetgrass, we let it dry out and we weave it back and forth. And that weaving back and forth, that braiding together of body, mind, heart, and spirit that's connected to our soul and our spirits as spiritual beings, it makes us stronger. It makes us stronger. So this message I want to share with you today is who we are as individuals, families, and communities, and how we can interconnect with one another, because the more that we wave and braid ourselves together and as collectively, interconnectively, the stronger we all can be, because that's the important about being together here in this beautiful world, this beautiful creation that Creator has blessed us with, that Minopawadzwin, that good life, that purpose, that gift of who we are as men, women, youth, children, from all of, and this beautiful, amazing grandmother who's many teachers I have has showed me and taught me so much of the importance of taking care of the center and our fire, because to heal Mother Earth is for us to heal ourselves too. And so this is my message that I want to offer to each and every one of you. And I say, I love you all. Chimigwech, Kanagana, all my relations.
Thank you. It was really great to see your beautiful face.
That could have been longer.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you have?
Okay. Well,
Phelan is in the back room. He's probably waiting patiently with his beautiful regalia on, but you're so cute. You can stay on and watch him if you want, but you just need to give up some of your camera.
That's okay. I'll give up some of my time. I just wanted to give a beautiful short message and understanding, and that how important it is for us to connect to our Mother Earth. You know, how it is to, you know, if we're going to create unity, peace, and love and hope amongst one another, if we look at that braided sweetgrass of kindness that sits in the northern doorway, it gives us so many teachings. All we have to do is walk outside our doorstep, walk on Mother Earth, and just sit and connect and feel the vibration and the medicine all around you. And picking sweetgrass is such a beautiful ceremony alone, just for you and that medicine that you need for yourself. And to me, that's that message of peace, love, and hope. You know, to create peace, love, and hope is all about us inside and what we carry in our fire and our center. Yeah, miigwech.
Chimagwech, you're beautiful. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Oh, you're welcome.
We'll see
You
you.
look beautiful, by the way.
You can see me?
Well, earlier I did.
Hi. You're cute.
I love your hair.
Okay. It's like yours, except gray. Anyhow, the world is watching us talk about how beautiful we look, but I think Thielen might be sweating, so let's bring him out, okay?
Okay. You take care. Have a beautiful day. Bamapi.
Bamapi. Come on in, Thielen.
All right, can you see me?
Yes, we can.
All right, perfect.
Nice to see you. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, no worries. Thank you for having me. So, bonjour, ani, tanse, kwe, wache, sego, nimki, benoje, kapisi, samat, na pasisis, dishnikas, my gandodam, kashanong, donchba. So, good afternoon, everyone. My English name is Thielen Kiknaswe. I'm Korean Potawatomi from Wakul Island First Nation, Kejunong Territory, and I'm part of the Wolf Clan. I'm 17 years old, and I've been a hoop dancer for the past 12 years of my life. I'm very grateful that I've been able to perform this style all over the world. So the hoop dance originally comes from the Hopi people and the Hopi Nation down in Arizona, and it's a storytelling dance. The beauty about this dance is we all have our own two eyes. We all have our own minds that we see and create things out of. And so when people are watching this dance, you know, some people may see an eagle. Another person may see a raven. Maybe another person sees a hawk. And that's what makes us beautiful as human beings. And the power that, you know, we'll be able to see things that have been created through nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight into this hoop dance, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you. So thank you very much. I'll be back.
Think, am I on now? Can people hear me?
We can hear you and see you too.
Okay, wonderful. Bonjour, and dinwe magraduk, nigon wewidam nidishna cost namagoshin dodem, nimenwendam omayayan. It's Nigon Sinclair here, coming to you from Treaty 1 territory. I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to this important summit and this important day and this important honoring, I think, of our people and our communities. I just finished a national panel with Minister Miller and dozens of other Indigenous academics and doctors from across the country, just discussing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so it's very nice to go from that to see this, which is the embodiment of our people, the embodiment of who we fundamentally are. And it's particularly nice to follow Thieland, who I think the world of, and I think that he's not only as a young leader, but he's already in many ways the foregrounding, the imagining of what we are as a people. And so a huge miigwech to Thieland for being a part of this day, and a miigwech to everyone who has been contributing to this visioning and this honoring of who we are. We are in probably, arguably one of the most complex times of my life, in which we can see the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on our communities. We can also see the ways that we are disproportionately affected by that sickness, and the ways that sicknesses for us spread much more quickly because of the long history of colonialism on our communities. But particularly, and perhaps most importantly, as a people, we have always endured. We have always faced off against the most direst of challenges, most difficult of challenges, and we have persevered nonetheless. In fact, we are thriving. And we are a people who are dedicated to the continuance of our nations and our languages and our cultures. And we do that because of the commitment that we have to engaging the world around us. And so we say a huge miigwech and thank you to those allies who walk with us on that journey and to help us to advocate for not only ourselves, but our relationships to the earth and the water and the land and the animals. And we say huge miigwech to all who are yet to come, that we are honestly doing this for all of our relatives, our ancestors yet to come, and we are doing this for the betterment of all of us, to be able to have water to drink and air to breathe and lands to live on and medicines to heal our bodies. It is a beautiful day. This beautiful day, which has been often called National Indigenous Peoples Day, coming up in a few days, but we are honoring today and other days, is in large part here because of the advocacy and the activism of many who are at the front lines. And so I want us all to take a quick moment to acknowledge and think about our aunties and our uncles, our grandmothers and our grandfathers, who are doing that work today and protecting us, as well as reminding us of how important days are like this. And so, people like Jody and those who are the organizers of this, you are included in that by doing this work to make sure that we are recognized, not just on one day, but on every day, and that we are included in schools, we're included in boardrooms, we're also included in living rooms, and that the more that we begin to change the histories that we have inherited, the more that we engage those legacies and change them and make them not just more inclusive, but radically change the foundation of what they represent, the more that we will begin to create a world that will embody the very name of this place, Kanata, which means the village. It doesn't mean oil pipeline. It doesn't mean diamonds. It doesn't mean shale gas. It means Kanata, the village. The value of the village is that Iroquoian word, which means that it is the value of the stories we tell each other, the way we care for one another, the ways that we recognize each other as parts of this grand family of treaty that we will live together forever. So with that, I say a huge miigwech, and thank you for including me on this and for doing this work to recognize our people and recognize our contributions and recognize the role and the foundational role that we all play in each other's lives. From Treaty 1 territory, miigwech from Nigon, and we will all see you soon. Nice to see you. Oh, look, I get to see you as well. So much love to you both.
There we go, right? Thanks, Nigon. Oh, there. Everybody's going to pop in. I love it.
I get to see everyone's face as well. It was just a big blank screen.
I know. Sorry. I know it's my first time. Might not be my last. I think I'm doing okay.
It makes me happy to see people that I care about. So it's really wonderful to see you.
Thank you. You too, again. Thank you so much.
I'm going to stay on for a while and listen, so you can. I'll just turn my camera off.
Yeah, I love it.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And Phelan's just about to show up again and do something special for us.
Miigwech.
Okay. Is it my turn again?
Yes, I love it. This
Okay,
is
good.
we're going to be owning this platform.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, cool. So again, hello everyone. My name is Phelan Kiknaswe. I'm 17 years old. I was born and raised in Ottawa, Ontario. I'm currently on unceded, unsurrendered Algonquin territory, and I'm very blessed to have been here throughout my whole life. I want to say a miigwech to the organizers and to Nigon and everyone who is coming on today. So yeah, thank you so much for including me. So now I'm going to share a song on my hand drum here, and this song is a round dance song. And traditionally, round dances are usually in the winter, and they that some people refer to it as the national anthem of round dances. So I'm going to sing this song, and again, miigwech for having me. Hi. Thank you for letting me share. And, I wish everyone to stay safe during this time.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thielen, you're amazing. Thank you so much for that. Jesse Thistle's here with us too. We have a lot of people in the room right now. We're like, who do we let in first?
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, good.
My-
We're not sure that we really wanted to be this live today, but it's a good thing we did our hair and, whatever. But this is so good to see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to be here. I'm glad. I hope I sound good. I hope I look good as the other
Thielen, you're
participants.
amazing.
And, I'm just happy
Thank
to
you
hear
so much for that.
everyone, the nice drum song and Nigon's teaching. So it's wonderful to be here. I'm the best-selling author of From the Ashes. And I just want to talk about peace, love, and hope in our communities today. As I've seen it, I'm an adoptee. So I'm from Saskatchewan. The road allowance is around Debden near Prince Albert. That's where my family comes from on my mom's side. And I'm part of a generation that was taken and raised elsewhere. So I was let go into CAS, and then I ended up at my grandparents, who are white, in Brampton, Ontario. And I grew up without a sense of myself, and it was really, really hard to claim my indigeneity. And it wasn't until years later in my 30s that I came back and I started to reclaim my identity with the help of elders and going out in the field and talking with Métis and Cree, who had ancestors that fought at Batoche. And so I collect all these stories and I write about them all the time. And that's what my work centers around. And it's very hopeful because I'm among a cohort of related to the ground, or related to the land, to the water, the lakes, the rivers, all the creatures, all the animals, the sky, the moon, and our animal kin, our blood relatives, as well as those who live with us on the land. And so through that teaching, I've learned that, being an adoptee coming back, really, if I want to reclaim my indigeneity, it's about collecting those oral histories as well as living through this worldview called Wekutuwin. That's a beautiful thing. And now I'm an assistant professor at York University as well as a best-selling author. And I see a lot of young people, young Indigenous people coming in, and they already know their teachings. They already know that they're in all my relations. And so that's really hopeful, because for people of my generation, trying to get back to that, it was really hard, And they're teaching me about love and inner peace and hope. And, I can see myself weaved into the braid of unity of our cultures and our peoples. I'm just one hair or one strand. And when we come back to our teachings of Wekutuwin, or all my relations, we're strong together. You can't rip a braid apart if it's braided properly. And so I'm glad to be part of that teaching process where people are helping recover their narratives and strengthening them. And so it's been a great honor to come here and speak about this, because I haven't felt confident in my identity, and the organizers of this felt that I had something to contribute. So thank you very much for making me one of your relations today. And I do look forward to what the other presenters have to say. Hi, Miigwech, Marcy, Nyawan.
Thank you. That was really awesome. Thank you so much for showing up, Jesse.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Now get out. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, I love it. In, out. I love it. I love you. I can't wait for you to start talking and singing and doing something. How are you, girl?
Hey. This is a big learning curve on our screens here in this world. I was trying to smudge beforehand and get grounded.
Yeah, technology has, yeah, that's a whole other world, right?
Yeah, but it's going well. Am I ready to begin? Are we all live here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's so beautiful to hear the words of Jesse. Jesse, for your words. I feel very connected to you already, even though we've never met. My name is Nicole Joy Fraser, and I'm also known as Rainbow Lightning Spirit Woman, Makwadodam, Bear Clan. I am the mother of Azawe Benese Nene, Blue Thunderbird Man. He's 4, proud mother. And I come to you today from beautiful Niagara-on-the-Lake, territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Onondaga peoples, and now it's home to, like myself, so many nations from all over. My lineage is actually Neheya as well, and Deneza, Michif, and on my birth father's side, I'm a European settler. So I too am a 60 scoop. I was adopted at 18 months old and raised in Mississauga, Ontario, always knowing I was Indian. That's how my parents called it. For years, they thought I was from the West Coast nations. My dad actually thought I was Haida. But, you know, I got to meet my birth father, who told me, no, you're Cree. Look how tall you are. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So it's been an incredible journey to seek out the elders in Toronto, where I was living for quite some time. I'm a professional performing artist, so Indigenous arts, Indigenous theater has been part of my healing journey, and those stories that we share and tell. So we are advocates in our own way. We're also storytellers. So in seeking out my own identity, I went to the Knowledge Keepers and Medicine People at Anishinaabe Health Toronto. Their traditional program helped me on my path. And it's because of them I'm here with you today. I really believe that. And of course, Creator and our belief system. So I am very drawn to songs and drumming. I know now that that's one of the gifts that I can share. So I'm so grateful to Jody, Brian Kahn, who introduced me to the organizers of this event today, to be with all of you in circle. So I invite you to join me on this song that I birthed about a year ago. It's like a giving thanks song. So I am singing in Anishinaabe Mao, and I'm saying thank you to the spirits. I'm thanking the good grandmothers, good grandfathers. I'm thanking all of creation. I'm saying Miigwech. I'm saying I'm giving honor to all of you today as well, for us to be here together in this moment in time, and giving thanks for this beautiful life. So if you can pick it up, please join me, or pick up your rattles and your drums and join me if you want, and learn this song. I encourage you to share it, or if there's some way to reach out to me to learn it again. This is also being played on a drum that I made for my partner. That is our Blue Thunderbird, our sun on there, that's beautifully painted by Moses Lunham, who you're going to meet after me. So let's get started. Here we go. All my relations.
Don't leave yet. Just a second. I think Moses is coming in. Just say hi.
Yes. Beautiful artwork of Moses Lenham. Check it out. Kettle Stony Point First Nation. They've also welcomed me into their community too. I feel at home with them. I have a very special connection with KP. People there made me feel like family. I've done ceremony there. The elders helped me out there. And I've worked a lot out in that territory. So thank you so much, Moses.
I thought he was going to pop on right now. So yeah, he's supposed to come on. So we'll see. We'll give another Indigenous minute.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hey, hi, Moses.
Hi.
We can hear you, Moses.
Bonjour.
I recognize that.
Yeah.
This is that song.
Oh, miigwech. That's a miigwech for your art.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so we're back again here. I'm just updating where we are in the progress of the painting, and I'm just sitting here listening to everybody and all the good words that are being shared, and it's really good to hear that today, and especially now, because when we talk about stressful times and some of the things that we do, for me throughout the past few months, I've been doing a lot of artwork, and it's really been helping me here at home with me and my family. We do very creative projects together, and it's good to kind of manage our stress. And so right now I'm feeling pretty good because I'm working away at this painting. I'm kind of winding down a little bit stressed out really about the video problems and technicalities with technology, right? Got a little bit stressed, but now I'm actually kind of getting into a real good area of where I like to be when it comes to making art. And I'm going to show you an update about where we're at in the progress of our painting. So let me grab our painting here. Okay, so as you can see, this is the top of our braid here. We're getting more defined. Things are getting a little bit more colorful for sure. We have our red hand here. We have a couple more hands holding the strands of braid, making this nice big braid of sweetgrass, which is pretty awesome. I see a lot of artists who can make really huge braids. That is awesome to see. I live by a nearby community of Walpole Island, and they're very well known for their long
Braids of Sweetgrass, and it's always great to see the new Braids of Sweetgrass and to get some for that good medicine.
Moses, that is so beautiful. And
Thank
even
you.
more,
Yeah, it's coming along nicely.
Is Susan a glue cart that just showed up?
Oh.
Anyway, no offense, but no, you know what I see, Moses, with that?
Yeah.
You know, you and I were talking about the piece that you're making for this.
Right.
I see that as a shawl.
Is that right?
Could you imagine that wrapping around and just having a shawl? That's what we're gonna do.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Well, maybe somebody out there will do it, right?
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, over the years, I've been inspired by many artists, some of the greats. I've been very fortunate to get to know some of them and see their work as I was growing up, and that's very important as a youth to to see others doing great things, and I want to do that too. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I work with a lot of youth, and when I see them and when I work with them, I see myself in a lot of them because I was there at one time, and I was a very shy young boy in this, really, really quiet in the classroom, and I wouldn't say anything. But I knew one thing, and I knew I had this gift of creativity, and that's what did my talking for me. And so I honor that gift that the Creator has given me to be able to share my thoughts and things I've learned over the years through my art. And so once again, I'm very happy and honored to be a part of the summit here, so that someone out there watching can do this too, or somebody, put a brush in your hand or a pencil and let them express and let them learn, because those voices are very, very important. Because, well, I hear a lot of stories about storytelling today, and yes, our story is always changing as we move through time. This is certainly going to be one of the stories that are going to be told for many years, and we need our youth, our next generation, to be able to tell those stories this way, through art and expression, which is very, very important. So thank you once again. I'll be back on to wrap up, and we'll take a look at this final result of his painting. Still got a little ways to go yet, and a little more defining, and for sure, awesome.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. My cheeks are so sore from smiling so great. I'm so full of love right now. I never.
Oh, for sure. Okay, we'll see you soon.
See you. Hi, Susan.
Hi,
oh
Susan.
My gosh, we're so excited to see her.
How are you?
Good.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you again. You are a beautiful soul who is part of the board of the Arctic Rose Foundation, co-chair, in fact. And hello again, Jody.
Thank you. Nice to see you. We're going to give you the screen.
So shall I start?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Well, koyandamik si wuldak pami tagvani katawun nakama ublumi weaving the braid of unity katik tutapkwa pilika katigit siaklotik ino katik kanalak tutawa wutik pakka tunga sukit si mayullo no nakakak si mayud koyagiblogit tunga sukit sing mata nunamino uwanga susin aglugaw yunga ino yunga akvang miutaw blunga man Ontario mitunga Korean ko ni tagbani katawun nakama. I'm Susan Aglukak, very honored to contribute and to participate in the Weaving the Braid of Unity event. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Jody. Thank you to the organization. We know that events like this, even live, are a lot of work to put together. Thank you for putting that time in. And now living in these times, even more challenging, and yet here we are gathered and watching that painting. I sure miss those live events, because often we would go to those sites and we'd look for the artists, our fellow Indigenous artists, and go see what was out there. And that human contact is so important. But here we are. This is an incredible time that we are living in as Canadians, as Indigenous, First Nations, Métis, Inuit. And we have an opportunity. We have this incredible opportunity to use the tools we are given, whatever those are. For many artists, it's creativity. I'm just going to do a little spin around. I don't know how much of this you can see. This is a traditional piece called Tuilik. There are a couple of designs of what we call the amautik. We can carry babies in this. This one, my mother and I made over a couple of years. And she did part, I did the other part, and she did most of the beadwork here. I have also on the bottom of this, along the bottom, if you can see the beadwork here, what I've inherited from our great grandmother. And this was on her tuilik. So what I'm wearing here, part of this piece is over 100 years old. And what an honor it is to have been gifted this piece, not only in inheriting what was on my great-great-grandmother's, Hanlok was her name, but also the pattern of this is traditional pattern. This is fitted precisely to me. My mother was able to put this together by visually looking at me. And these are traditional ways that are incredibly very valuable traditional knowledge. They have been able to pass down, but we have a responsibility living in these times to also collect this information as artists, as storytellers, to make it part of our work. And in this work, we are doing what I call correcting the narrative. They were stunning, incredible people, our ancestors. And we have a responsibility to honor the work that they have done over the thousands of years that they became who they are, and in claiming the land they've claimed, and we must honor that. And what a gift it is to be counted amongst those artists, and just very humbling. I mean, I'm one of the fortunate few who stumbled into a series of happenstances, landed on a life that has been my healer. Art is a healer, as we heard from the previous story. And what an opportunity to share these gifts and to share art as an expression, using that expression to bridge generations, to correct the narrative, so that what we know, the next generation knows more and gets better with each generation. This is just an incredible opportunity, and these events are those places that we share this stuff. So thank you again for having me here. I'm going to share a song with you. This is one of the new songs off the new album. We're hoping to, it's ready to go. We're hoping to have it released in the fall. Again, challenging times, rolling with the punches. And this song is a series of songs on that new album that are telling, in a couple of songs, part of the story of our ancestors, the Inuit, and the Bering language theory, the one that I subscribe to, who they were and who, what they became over the course of, again, claiming the land in that time. But what I've learned in collecting these stories is this song, the title of this song is Walk With Me. And what it essentially is doing is challenging the listener to hear your truth, hear the truth. Don't stigmatize. We need to end the stigma and listen to the truth. And if you don't subscribe to it, don't. But at minimum, we must destigmatize and then begin to correct the story, correct the narrative. And even in that, you're walking with us. Quit spreading lies about the Indigenous people. We have an incredible Canadian history, and we just simply want to be equal in that history. And this song challenges all of us to walk together, hear the truth, and walk together. So this one's called Walk With Me. Hear me, don't listen to defer, believe me. The stories that you heard, I want to hear, I want to feel again, again. little bit of you and a little bit of me. It's stories that we weave. If you would walk with me, the story hidden in your eyes, the story. You have to choose a side. Come stand beneath the witness tree. We'll write the things we see. No matter where the road may lead, a path will always be revealed. A little bit of you and a little bit of me in the stories that we weave. If you would walk with me, my bones, my blood, my memories, 2,000 years of dreams. These are things they can't erase, the things they'll never see. The past become a guide because you walk with me. Matter where the road may lead, a path will always be revealed. A little bit of you and a little bit of me in the stories that we weave. If you walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. So a little bit of speaking, a song for you, and sharing, because we live in incredible times. Kuyan namin makialok, tagpani katawun na lang kama. Ublumi ame kako nga unib kako nga inyak tuma. Man namut, ilit sisimayak kanit. Mat nalovik, kuyan namik. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
Bye, Susan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To me, what?
From the voice from beyond, Grandfather Cecil. Hey, hi, David. We were trying to be in the back room, but someone was forcing us out now. Now we're these hostess with the mostest. So grateful you showed up.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. We're gonna give you the everything.
Oh, okay. There's no waiting room. I'm just on right now.
You're on now. There, and actually, Joel, who was supposed to be here 2 hours ago, just showed up too. So hey. Oh, and Drew, we're all here. You know what? This is it. This is now the break. Let's go. Everybody, there you go. Drew, I think you're an hour early, but I love when Indigenous people are early. That's like never happens.
I blame it on my white half.
See, I love it.
My dad was always early for everything, and so he kind of taught me to be early for everything, but broke the stereotype.
So was my mother. My mother was my native half, and she was painfully early for everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to step out of the office. Actually, David, this is your time right now, and Drew, yeah, like I don't know if you want to stay there with him or if you'd like to kind of jump in the back room and give him the whole screen. I don't know. You guys decide. You guys decide.
So I didn't understand that. Give what? Who a whole screen? What does that mean?
Oh, just because you're supposed to, if you read your email, you're supposed to mute your microphone and your video, and then David would have the whole screen right now, but it's okay.
You got it.
Great. You guys are awesome.
I don't need the whole screen. It's all
No.
good.
Apparently, we don't need the screen either.
One of the things I was always taught is always do what women tell you.
Yes. Yes. Those were smart
That's a good
men.
teaching. That's a good teaching. Oh, right on. Okay. Well, this is good. I'm glad to be here. I don't really know who I'm talking to, but this is I'm glad to be talking.
People here. We're streaming live right now through YouTube.
Yeah, this is great. Hi, YouTube. Hi, everybody. My name is Dave Robertson, and my father was born and raised in Norway House Cree Nation, and that's my band. I was very honored to be become a band member of Norway House Cree Nation about 10 years ago, and that's a second home to me. Like I feel like it's home whenever I go there, and it became more of a home a couple years ago when I went with my father out onto his trap line, and it was the first time he'd been there for 70 years. Quite a long time, and it was the first time I'd ever been there. And my father and I, we were on a journey together for, I would say, about 30 years, where we were, learning from each other. As much as I learned more from my dad, but he learned maybe a thing or two about me, but from me. But that journey we've been on was a journey of reconnection, a journey of healing. And one of the things, he taught me a lot of things, but one of the things that I've held really close in all the things that he's taught me was his view on healing and reconciliation. And it's something we talked about a lot over the last 2 years before he passed away in December. And one of what he told me often was, our story isn't a story of trauma in our family. Even though we have that in our history, my grandmother went to a residential school in Norway House. My dad went to a day school where he wasn't allowed to speak his language, and everything that we're familiar with, thankfully now, that we weren't familiar with, when I was growing up. But we're more than trauma, I think was his point. We're more than trauma, and so our journey has been a journey of reconnection. And resiliency, and I think of cultural resurgence, and coming to your identity, and that's what I really wanted to talk about, was that journey of identity, of how we come to identity, why we come to identity, what happens when we do the work to find a stronger self. And our journey was 30 years, as I said, and we found that there's 3 steps, I think, in thinking about who we are and who we want to be. And this is true of anybody, but from an indigenous perspective, I think this is an important process to go through, because a lot of our youth right now, a lot of our youth can be disillusioned. A lot of our youth can feel disconnected from who they are because of the history of this country. But the work involves learning about where we've come from. And that's why going to my dad's trap line was so important to me, because I saw where he lived. I saw where he was essentially born. I saw how he went about his daily life, the things and values that he was taught, that became ingrained in the way that he lived his own life. And learning about all of those things, and his journey from the trap line to Phoenix, Arizona, to British Columbia, to Montreal, to a small Southwest town where he met my mom in Manitoba. Learning about all of that, and the resiliency that he had, and making it through a lot of tough circumstances, and it helped me understand myself better. And that's the thing. One of the last things he taught me was, the first thing we need to do is learn about where we've come from, because it helps us to understand who we are now, and it helps to shape who we are now. We don't really know who we are unless we know where we've come from. And then when we get a sense of who we are, and with, I think, the caveat of our identities can change. We can, as long as we understand all of these things, if we sought the knowledge, and we continue to seek knowledge, because we're always learning, we never know enough, we never know it all. If we do that, our identities always are changing. We're always adapting. We're always finding more out about ourselves, and that's okay. But if we are there with that foundation of the past, if we're there and with that strong foundation, and if we feel strong and confident in who we are, even though that's continually changing, that's the second part, is understanding who we are now. And the third part, I think, and the most important part, and this is, I think, in collectively as a community of people, a community of human beings, my dad would say, because often he'd say, Dave, you didn't make that mistake because you're Cree. You made that mistake because you're human. And when I was a kid growing up, I said, Dad, why didn't you teach me how to be Cree? And he'd say, how would I teach you how to be Cree, Dave? You are Cree. So my job was to give you the tools to be able to find out for yourself what it meant to be Cree, and to give you the support to go on that journey. And he did that. So he always said, you don't make mistakes or do anything because you're Cree. You do it because you're human. And his goal as when I was a kid was to teach me how to be a good human, how to be a good person. And my identity as a Cree man is something that I've been working on for a long time, and it's something that I'll always be working on. And because I think I'll always carry my dad's teachings with me, it's something that he'll always be guiding me. He'll always be there as my guide. But the final point, I think, as a community of people, as a community of human beings, whether you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, is to think about where we want to go with all of that knowledge, with our identities firmly in place, with the knowledge of the past, thinking about where we want to go, and not just tomorrow, but well into the future for the next 7 generations, my dad said, and the hope that we want to instill in our youth, with that work, with the direction that we want to take, with the work that we want to do to go where we need to go as a community, as individuals, as families, as communities, as a larger community. And that's the work. I think that's the work. And I think now is as important a time as any to be doing that work, because of a lot of negativity and a lot of stuff that's happening that needs to happen, I think, because we need to be aware of what's going on now. But even then, what's going on now is informed by what's happened in the past. And we should really pay attention, because we are not where we need to be, but it doesn't mean that we can't get there. And I think that if we get there doing the work on our own and as a community, then the future is going to look different, and it's going to look better. And the focus of that future needs to be on the youth. It needs to be on the kind of future that we want our youth to be in, and that we want our youth to shape. And so the work, to me, involves also giving our youth the tools and knowledge to be good leaders and to lead us in a good way. And if we can do that, I think that there's a lot of hope in a very difficult time right now. And so that would be the message that I have. I don't even know how long I talked for, but that would be the message I have. And I wish everybody out there the best. Mm-hmm. And I wish you all the best as humans, and as unique individuals that are worthy of respect, and with the knowledge that our diversity makes us stronger. And I really believe that. It sounds cliche, but I really believe that. And I want to thank the group here for inviting me here and for giving me the time to share this message with you. Echo Zani, thank you. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great. Thank you. You went over time, but it's okay. You're
I
beautiful.
did apologize.
It's okay. You're great to look
I'm
at.
sorry, Drew. I'm sorry,
You're
Drew.
it's wonderful. We love it. We love Indigenous
We
people.
say that I come early, but I stay late.
Yes. Exactly. You're beautiful. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks so much,
Thank
David.
you.
Beautiful message.
Take care.
Good afternoon, grandmothers, elders, youth, students, and fellow community members in the Halton region. I bring this message from the beautiful traditional and unceded territory of the Algonquin people and their descendants. On behalf of myself, Robert Bertrand, National Chief of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, and all of our provincial and territorial partners, we wish everyone from coast to coast to coast a happy summer solstice. En mon nom propre, Robert Bertrand, chef du Congrès des peuples autochtones, et au nom des organisations provinciales et territoriales partenaires, je souhaite à tous, d'un océan à l'autre, une joyeuse journée nationale des peuples autochtones. Today, we come together for National Indigenous Peoples Day to celebrate our unique heritage and to take pride in our diverse cultures. Normally, we would come together on this day in a physical space to share our culture, language, music, dance, food, our traditions, our successes, and so much more. This year, however, our usual gathering has proven to be very challenging, given current events nationally and globally. It is with the culture and the teachings of our grandmothers, our elders, and our youth that we will come out of this stronger by leading with hope, peace, and love. It's through unity and our shared expression of values that we will get through this together. I hope you will find a special way to celebrate the National Indigenous Peoples Day with your loved ones. I know I am. C'est par l'unité et l'expression commune de nos valeurs que nous réussirons ensemble. J'espère que vous trouverez une façon spéciale pour célébrer la Journée nationale des peuples autochtones avec vos proches. Vous pouvez compter sur moi pour le faire en tout cas. Stay safe, everyone. Restez en sécurité, miigwech.
Hello, everybody. It's Bob Gizik from Ginnebeguk Shabigajwat. It's Isaac Murdoch and.
Hi, this is Shannon Paul. I'm from Northwest Angle, number 33.
And we're here to sing you a song and to give a little talk. So let's start off with the song. Okay, Shannon, take it away. Yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya.
Ya, 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 yo, ha, ya, ya, way, ya.
Way, yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya. Way, yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya.
Ya, 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 yo, ha, ya, ya, way, ya.
Way, yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya. Way, yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya. Way, yo, hi, yo, hi, ya, way, oh, ya, ya, hey, ya. Miigwech. Shannon has such a beautiful voice. So with that, we're going to deliver a little message. A message about unity, a message about respect and dignity. Because right now the world is suffering a massive ecological collapse. Climate change is real. We're in a climate crisis. But we're also suffering a social collapse. And right now, future generations are depending on us to be able to pull it together and show the best parts of who we are so that we can change this dysfunction that's happening everywhere. And I always think about the lands and waters because they're such a great and important teacher and showing us how to live right here on earth. Of course, for the people in my village, we believe that we received the original instructions many, many years ago from the land itself, and that the government that we were to follow were to be led by the animals. And so the animals have an important message for us. So we have to turn to them during these times of crisis to try to understand what to do next, how to move forward, how to live in safety, how to produce healthy families, how to be, have good societies. The animals and the land have all the answers. When you look at a forest, a very diverse forest, you will notice that everything gives everything to everything. There is no greediness there. It's just pure magic and unconditional love. The same way that a river will just flow forever, and all it does is just give life to everything at every given moment. And so offerings is very sacred to our people. Be giving offerings to what we want is important. If we want change, we should give something for it. To lay our tobacco, to ask for change, but also to believe in each other, because that's one of the most fundamental instruments of change is believing in one another. That's the tool. That's the thing that's going to help us. Because when we believe in each other, we can lift each other up. And people are able to exercise their true gifts of who they are. And how important is that? Let's respect each other's diversity. Let's of course celebrate each other's diversity. Because the world is filled with all sorts of people. And when you bring up those songs, those dances, when you bring up those languages, really what we're doing is we're bringing up power from the earth, because that's where all of our cultures come from. They all originate from there. And so with that, unite, believe in each other, and raise each other up. We're going to finish singing this song. Shannon, let's do the last one.
Thank you.
Miigwech, everybody. Let's unite in peace.
Miigwech.
Talk to you later. Bama P.
Yeah, you're here. We see you. We see each other.
Happy Indigenous Month. My name is Joel White Duck Ringet. I'm so happy to be invited here today to share with you messages of peace and hope and unity throughout the world, really. But it starts right here in our own backyards, and that's where I'm standing right now. Many of you who know about Nish Dish, I'm chef of Nish Dish. I'm also a social entrepreneur and an economic developer, and that's part of my clan system. So that's a very quick message I'm going to share with you today, which totally resonates with the messages of hope that we're trying to extend to one another. So I'm Algonquin, I'm Ojibwe. My grandmother is from North Bay, Nipissing First Nations, and my grandfather is from Golden Lake. My clan is Zangweshi, and that's the Mink clan or Little Paws clan. The very important message to talk about is who we are which I heard David speaking about, I heard Isaac speaking about, many people have spoke about it today. Really understanding who we are, each individual in the teachings of our people have gifts. We have gifts to contribute to our community, and those gifts we're to freely share. We must learn what they are and then give them to the world, give them to your family, give them to the community, give them to the little ones, give them to the grandmothers, and learn to listen very carefully. I think that's the message I want to share. Every person on the planet has an Indigenous ancestor. And if you go back to those Indigenous teachings, you're going to find very much the same messages you're hearing today with all of us. So in my lifetime's work, which has been the last 15 years since May 2005, when my medicine teacher told me to take this journey, he told me to find out, to start studying what is the Anishinaabe food diet, that I had those specific gifts as Papa Bijou, the spotted lynx, and also from my clan. So my clan, the Mint clan, is called the bringer of things. And the bringer of things in the clan system would mean what I'm doing today. I'm actually searching for all of our food systems and trying to unite the community in making those food systems sustainable, like wild rice. So the Anishinaabe people, through the guidance of our spirit guide, we were brought here specifically to take care of that rice. And Winnebago brought us to that rice in a time many, 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 many moons ago when the Anishinaabe people were starving. And so we were looking for a food source. And Winnebago, we cried out to him, he came to guide us to that food. So that's a much more fantastical story that one day I hope to get to share. For the purposes of today, that means the Anishinaabe people are responsible for the waters too. So all Indigenous people, even in this time right now, we're responsible for praying for those waters and making offerings, and that is the asema. So we talk a lot about the plants with the food, because of course without the food, without the plants, there is no Nishtish, there is no sustenance on life for our families, our loved ones, and we want to share food. We want to find out what is the true diet of an Anishinaabe people, and why is it so important? Indigenous food sovereignty, why is that so important? Why is everyone talking about it? Why is there so much land-based learning today? That's because we all are going back to the land. We know that's where we come from. We know that we have to show that peace, that respectful communication to the plants, to the animals, and that's how we understand our clan system. Now, a lot of different Indigenous communities, in different Indigenous nations say they may not have clan systems, but every Indigenous nation across Turtle Island has a direct connection with the land and all of the beings upon it, the beings of the water, the beings of the sky, and the beings that live. So creating that relationship with is the important contribution we can make to humankind. And that's why we do these things, smudging. That's why we offer the spirit plates. We do that to honor our ancestors and to bring the hope and the peace and the consciousness we need to heal the planet that we ourselves, the two-leggeds, have so very much decimated in so many ways. So the spirit of peace is through those teachings. It's also through what we know of the plants. We know this is sweetgrass. We love it. It's braided together as Mother Nature's hair. And it is the symbolism of unity within community. Every one of us contributes.
Hey, how are you doing for time?
So what we would like to do today is just bring the mind.
No, because we have Joel from Just Finished, then we have Drew.
This is a fantastic book that we can also support our Indigenous writers who bring this knowledge to us, and our Indigenous women. So Kimmerer, Braiding Sweetgrass, this is one of the books I study and use a lot to share the words of the plants. Plants have so much to give us, all we have to do is ask. So the work that we're doing in Indigenous food sovereignty is creating your relationship with the plants, learning how to communicate and listen, and bring back the healthiness and the teachings through prayer and through eating them and through creating spirit plates to your ancestors. I think that's the message that I'd love to share today, and thank you so much, Chimikwach, for having me here today. And Bama P, I hope everyone's enjoying the beauty of what we can in this time, and that we're sharing that time with one another for our loved ones and for the planet to heal during this time of major crisis. Chimigwech, thank you for that.
Thank you, Joel. I apologize. We were not on mute. We thought, we definitely, this is not our gig, okay? Next year, we're gonna hire someone professionally. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing that knowledge with us, and we apologize for talking over you. We had no idea.
That's all right. I could hear you. I wasn't sure if you were cueing me to finish, but we got it. We got it. We rocked it out, and thank you for having us here. It's been wonderful listening to everybody, and I hope to listen to more people talk today.
Awesome. We're really excited too about all the work you're doing over at Crawford Lake. That's so exciting to hear more about that. So we'll catch up with all of that information too. And Miigwech, thank you very much.
Chimigwech, thank you.
I am here. Can you see me and hear me?
We can, and I'm definitely we're gonna shut off our microphone. I hope it was okay there, but
I love working with professionals.
Thank you. We like to think we are professional in some essence anyway. Oh, so good to see you, and thank you.
No problem. So just launch in?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, hello everybody here on YouTube, or as I like to think of it, DrewTube. I am talking to you from wonderful downtown Curve Lake First Nation, number 35, just north of Peterborough, surrounded by a wall of green. And I've been asked to come here and talk a little bit about Indigenous humor. Evidently, I have a bit of a background in the topic. I think one of the things that sort of made me interested in exploring and celebrating the Indigenous sense of humor was the fact that I've been very fortunate to have traveled to over 150 First Nation communities across Canada and the United States. And everywhere I've been, I've always been greeted with a laugh, a smile, and a joke. And I think that's one of the things I first noticed here in my community where I grew up and traveling to all the other communities was this incredibly, marvelously developed sense of humor. And it's only natural. Our humor traditionally was what kept us amused. It's how we told stories. It's how we told gossip. It's how we related philosophy. All these different things of life was through our humor. And so that was very, very apparent to me. You get a group of Indigenous people in one corner and a group of non-Indigenous people, for the sake of argument, let's say white people. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Indigenous people will start laughing and joking almost immediately. And one of the interesting things I found about this in my journey to being a writer is that anybody familiar with Indigenous literature, I think you'll find that the vast majority of the stories we're telling, both on stage and in books, poetry, etc., are dark. They're darker than I think we are in everyday conversation. Most of the stories told are either angry, bleak, sad, and basically dealing with the dysfunctional aspect of the Native community. And that makes perfect sense because when an oppressed people get their voice back, they're going to write about being oppressed. It makes perfect sense. I remember having conversations with writers from Aborigine communities in Australia, Maori communities in New Zealand, and Dalit writers known as the Untouchables in India. And basically the consensus was, when you have been at the bottom of the social hierarchy for hundreds or thousands of years and you're finally given a chance to tell your story, chances are it won't be a comedy. So that's why I think during the what I refer to as the contemporary Native literary renaissance, the vast majority of our stories were dark, depressing, bleak, sad, and angry. And all the characters were either oppressed, depressed, or suppressed. And there's actually a line, I think, in the opening essay in The Red Sisters by Thompson Highway, where he says, before the healing can take place, the poison must be exposed. And I think that's what was happening for a lot of our writers. They were exposing the poison because, you know, after 500 years of colonization, there was a lot of poison in our communities, and we're still dealing with it. That's why most of our stories fall into three categories: historical narratives, victim narratives, or what I refer to as post-contact stress disorder. And so as I was coming up through the writing hierarchy, I began to wonder, in order to be an Indigenous writer, am I going to have to write something dark and depressing about the Indigenous community? Because so many other writers were doing that much better than I could. And so I was pondering that, and I happened to find myself on the Blood Reserve in Alberta, and I was talking with an elder there about this problem, because I wanted to celebrate the more positive aspects of our community. I would look at my mother from here, who had a wonderfully developed Indigenous sense of humor, and I wasn't seeing a lot of her in a lot of the literature that was coming out. My mother definitely was not oppressed, depressed, or suppressed. And I was talking with this elder from the Blood Reserve, and he said that in his opinion, for Native people, he always thought humor was the WD-40 of healing. And that made so much sense to me. Humor is the WD-40 of healing. I thought that was so cool, that was almost t-shirt worthy. So I sort of took that as my mantle, and as I traveled around, as I talked with Indigenous people, as I wrote stories, I decided to incorporate humor into, can't even say I wanted to incorporate humor into the work. It was there. And it didn't come from me. It came from my environment. I lived right across from where my grandparents lived. And during the summer, there'd be bonfires, and I'd have aunts and uncles and cousins come over, sit around that bonfire and tell funny stories. So I grew up listening to these funny stories, and it just became part of everyday life for me. And so it was very, very easy for it to appear in a lot of my literature. And I've had so many people come up to me and say, you know, I was so glad to see your play or read your book. So many of the other Native stories out there, I was all set to cry, but instead I laughed. And sort of to share with you how intrinsical humor is. I am not a spokesman for all Indigenous people everywhere. I am only a spokesman for me and my community, my family. But two particular incidents occur to me about how humor is so integral to our community, even in times of sorrow and sadness. I come from a very big family. My mother was the oldest of 14. I have about 20, 25 first cousins, so we're huge. That's what used to happen before they had the internet. And so when you have such a big family, you eventually will have people pass on to the other world. And so we are not unfamiliar with the waiting rooms at the various hospitals, or at the one hospital in Peterborough. And I mean, whenever somebody was there, families would gather there. And there's this one particular story, we were in the ICU. And I'm not sure which aunt or uncle was in the hospital, but there were about 8 to 12 of us in the ICU waiting room. And the nurse had to come in and tell us to stay quiet. Evidently, we were laughing too much. We were disturbing the whole unit with our laughter. And could we keep it down, please? And we were in an ICU unit. Another time when my mother passed away, I went to the funeral home to plan the funeral with 2 aunts, 2 cousins, and my partner, all women and me. And so we're sitting there with the funeral director, and we're trying to figure out what my mother would want for the funeral. And we were laughing because we were remembering my mother and how my mother always hated to be the center of attention. And here we are making her the center of attention, trying to figure out what she'd want. My mother loved sunflowers. And my mother had the nerve to die at the end of January, right after Chinese New Year. And evidently every possible sunflower had been hoovered up for Chinese New Year the week before. So we had to use fake sunflowers, which my mother would have been very annoyed with. So we were talking about her, and we were laughing, remembering her. And finally, we got everything planned out. And you got to keep in mind, downstairs too, this was at the funeral home, there was a wake happening downstairs. So we finally got to the end of the funeral. So then not the funeral, the planning session with the funeral director. And as we're getting up to leave, the funeral director stood up, he leaned over, shook my hand and said, "I don't get to say this very often, but that was fun." So to me, that's a prime example of the importance of humor in our community. And I guess I'll leave it with that, but I will tell you one of my favorite jokes I heard from somebody somewhere in this country, I forget, from a Native person, and it goes something like this. Why do Native people hate snow? Because it's white and all over our land.
This is us. Drew, we're just like howling.
So I've been effective. Not going to put a hold on my check?
No, about that check.
It's in the mail, right?
Partner. You might need a partner. Thank you so much,
yes.
Chumagwich, for coming here and just being you. And we really appreciate it. This was really magical for us, and we didn't know what was gonna turn out, but we're happy you did.
No problem. As we say in my reserve, grazie.
Awesome.
So carry on. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I think Moses is. Oh, he's got it. Oh my
God! I've mastered this now. Here I am. All right. So here we are, the finished result of our painting. I'll let you take a good close look at this right here.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna come up here real close, nice and close here.
That's amazing. That looks like our collaborative leads table logo. That is so beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good job, Mo.
I'm glad it kind of came together today, just kind of how I envisioned it. And I've had this piece of canvas here for at least a couple of years, and I always wondered, what am I going to do with it, right? Or wondered what's going to come of it. And here it is today. And this is what it has produced, this beautiful painting. And so that's a pretty good story in its own self. Sometimes you get those art supplies, they sit around and you wonder what's going to happen, right? But yeah, just to talk a little bit briefly about this painting and inspiration and putting all these things together, all the thoughts, and that as an artist, you always look for things, you hang on to it, you hear something, you hear a story, you hear a teaching, and you kind of file it away in the back of your memory, right? So one day you might need that. So you come out and you think about it, and then you kind of tap into your imagination as to how and what that could look like. Well, as you know, this painting features about a sweetgrass braid, and over the years I learned about how to braid a braid of sweetgrass, and it's always easiest when you have a helping hand to help you out to braid that braid of sweetgrass. And so here I thought, well, I think it would be good as Indigenous people be the ones who hold this braid, this grass together, right? To help others to learn how to weave a braid of sweetgrass. So here down here we have the others here who are putting together this braid of sweetgrass. And here we are as First Nations people sharing that teaching of, well, learning how to braid a braid of sweetgrass. Here I have the theme also represented of love, hope, and peace for all of mankind. So everybody here is represented with the 4 colors of man. And as you can see as well, I've incorporated some color in the background, which is purple. And people will ask, well, why did you use purple, right? I always think about, over my years of doing painting, is I always kind of regard purple as a healing color. So that's the symbolism behind that choice of color, is that it represents the healing that is taking place here in the background, and really kind of ties nicely with the overall colors as well. And it almost kind of looks like the smoke as well. It could be the purple smoke, right, that rises up from when we do the sweetgrass ceremony. So there we go. That's my painting, my gift to you and others. And I really hope you're inspired by such the great words that we heard today, a lot of the teachings and a lot of the good things that were shared today. And miigwech so much for having me today. And yeah.
Moses, you are so amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. just so grateful and just very blessed to be here and see you show up and share your love through your artwork and your messages. And thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Well, I always thank the Creator. I pray every day, every morning to start out to thank you for this life that I have, this gift, and the opportunities to share with others so that they may be inspired to learn more about themselves and learn each other, right? I always think about my art as a bridge, right? It bridges us to learning about each other, and which is really important in today's world.
Amazing. What I'd like to do, thank you very much for being here with us. We have our leads team that are in the waiting room, but I'd like to play another video before we all come out and do our piece. And look at how beautiful that is. And so Moses painted that all day long, or no, it feels like all day long, but painted that in the last 3 hours of us sharing messages. And so we are so grateful. But we do have another message of some women that put together a message for us from the East Coast. And so I'd like to play that right now before we all break out into our leads group. So Chimugwich again. Thank you, Moses.
Amapi.
My name is Jan Gladish, coming to you from the traditional lands of the Wewakai people on Quadra Island, on the northern part of Vancouver Island. I'm a member of the Heiltsuk Nation, and I belong to the House of Chief Wigwigbawakas. To my people across the nation, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. The past few months have been very challenging ones for all of us. But we need to remember that we are a resilient people. We have faced adversity many times as nations and as individuals, and we have survived pandemics before. We have survived the colonial forces on our lands and our cultures and our lives. And despite great losses to our families and to the very fabric of our social structures, we are here. We have been able to sustain our lives by relying on the knowledge of our ancient ancestors and on the resources found on our territories. Our languages are intact. Our art forms are very much intact. We've always been able to survive. Today, though, it is harder to rely on our seasonal harvesting and the resources on our territory because they've been depleted in so many different ways. But our young people are following paths leading to different areas of specialized knowledges in many houses of learning across the country. Some are in universities studying law or health sciences or philosophy or other areas of interest, and others are studying skilled trades in apprenticeship programs. Our changing world has rocked the foundation of the world that our ancestors knew. But we, the people, the Indigenous people in 2020, remain strong and united from coast to coast to coast. Have a great day, Canada. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Wallace Gayaska.
Gwe, Nina Deluisi, Eva Nicholas, J, Weoma. Hi, I'm from Wakaba First Nation, and today we're in another community in Wamakuk because of these special plants. These are 1,000-year-old seeds of Nicotiana rustica. And I just want to tell a quick little story about the Three Sister seeds. It's almost like a fairy tale, but it's an old ceremony. And almost pretty well every tribe on Turtle Island has original seeds of corn, squash, and what's usually known as the Three Sisters. It's corn, squash, and peas, right? So the Mi'kmaq version is sort of like a ceremony to Mi'kmaq, and Mi'kmaq has the gift to grant a fairy. It's almost like a supernatural power of nature, of harmony and peace. And the ceremony goes, if you plant your corn, squash, and peas and your tobacco, and Mi'kmaq is pleased enough, and he will grant you a fairy. And what the fairy does is make sure everything is in harmony. It kind of creates the music for nature where everything just kind of flows together and works. And a lot of times when your garden thrives, that's because the fairies are doing their work.
Hello, my name's Shaniva Dennis. I'm from Butlitic First Nation based out of Nova Scotia in Canada. And I'm just wishing everybody peace and wellness.
Hi, this is Andrea. I am from Six Nations, Ontario. I'm currently residing in Nova Scotia, Indigenous. And so, yeah, I've had the pleasure of going around and taking some videos, some people that want to say hi as well, as a message out to everybody. I would just like to say that as an Indigenous woman, we always have to have communication at the forefront of all of our endeavors, especially when we look at ensuring a positive future for the 7 generations to come, and also ensuring that decisions that we make in our lives is putting a smile upon our ancestors' face. No matter their race, being alive today on Mother Earth, you know what that means is that we are the ancestors of our peoples tomorrow. And that means a lot, and that should not be taken lightly. And yes, there's a lot of things that we need to do to be at the top of our game, to be the best possible humans that we can be. And it's one of the hardest things to do when you look at intergenerational traumas. You look at all of the healing that needs to take place, and some people are working towards that diligently. And I would just say that I'm just so happy to be a part of people, Indigenous people, that have that rich culture to lean back on to move forward. I'd like to say that I am hopeful that the communication lines between people and the powers that be and our political leaders and our traditional leaders keep doing what they're doing, if not get stronger. Our generations are coming up. People are going to become stronger, and it's just so amazing, such an amazing life to be a part of that. Yahweh.
Hello, Leads team. I see you all there. Hi, everyone. Can you guys all open up your... There we go. Show up. What's up, Brian? Tammy, Courtney. You know, Tammy, look at it, I recognize you. Hi, Tina. No, it's so beautiful. Oh, yes, of course, Cecil. Yes, back, brother. Melissa.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you so much. Look what happens when like-minded individuals come together and want to and have a purpose, right? This was an amazing, amazing event that came together in no time flat. I think under a month. Am I wrong? Yeah. And when all of us come together and we really, really all strive to do the same thing and wanting to have that knowledge and appreciation to share with everyone out there, so much can happen. And I just want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for being here with us and for agreeing to engage in this crazy idea that we had a couple of weeks ago. So again, I really do want to thank each and every one of you for being here on behalf of the Halton Catholic District School Board, on behalf of Grandmother's Voice, and for each and every one of you for being here, for sharing your guests, your knowledge, the elders, the students, everyone that showed up here today with us.
Darlene's there somewhere. Miss Multitasker.
Hi, yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much from Windsor-Essex Catholic District School Board.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'd like to see your face, but we'll do that next time. Thank you so much for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it is that. It was, a couple of months ago when we just were like, hey, let's make sure that we stay strong through all of this. And starting the conversation, and then it came to this. This was just you know, the grandmothers and the elders that were guiding us were like, hey, if you can make it happen, let's do it. Right. And it goes to show you that, you know, next year, hopefully not in COVID, we will definitely have somebody a little more professional guiding us, except from his space. But anyway, we did it, and it's really amazing. And from the grandmothers, they were very, very proud to watch this happen, and really proud that everybody came together. And it's really time to work together and to get some things done. So. Yawa.
Great job, ladies.
Anyone else sharing? Would anyone else like to share a message from your boards or from your team? I know we had tried to get some videos up, but we already had enough technical issues. No.
I could share a little bit. If that's okay.
Well, it's like one of our planning meetings, so I'll just jump on. So, Tansi, Maya Totakawin. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Brian Kahn. I'm from the Niagara Catholic District School Board, and I just want to say what an honor it has been to be a part of this group and to bring this together to share our heritage, our culture, our language, not only amongst ourselves and amongst our school boards, but right across the world by making this an online event. When I think of weaving the braid of unity, and I think about where I live in Niagara Falls, and I think about the fragility of a single raindrop or a single snowflake, and how easily it can be swayed and moved about. But as more and more snowflakes or more and more drops are joined together, that they become stronger and more powerful. And living in Niagara, I have proof that when many of us join together, we have the power to move the world. And so that is what I hope out of today, out of this event, and moving forward. And on June 21st, summer solstice, which is also my son's grandson's first birthday, a great celebration. So peace, love, and hope to each and every one of you, and a tota mitawinnik in friendship.
Wow.
I can jump in next.
Yes.
Ani bonjour. Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Button. I'm the Indigenous Education Lead for the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board. And I'd just like to say chi miigwech to everyone who joined us today, and to our amazing guests for sharing their gifts with us, and to our collaborative leads team for all the hard work that they did to put this together. The message I'd like to leave with you today is this: when communities come together, as you can see, great things happen. In these times of unusual uncertainty, peace, love, and hope must lead our way and be at the forefront of our actions. Our actions in these unprecedented times can strengthen us or divide us. We must all come together in unity and work together towards a better tomorrow. And as a wise man once said, never forget to always act for the love of our Mother Earth and all living things. I'm sending good energy to you all, and may the great peace be with you, and friendship and unity from the HWCDSB. Miigwech. Nyawa.
Thank you. Mino? Anyone?
Bonjour, Kina. Nishna Bam and Tom. He's got this in the class, and she can't do them. We might be catching on the bench by Nishna Bam down, meanwhile, Nishna Bam one, I can't mark us up down. The Nucky Lambton Kent District School Board, Indigenous lead and Dow there. Jimmy Gretchen, the knock gets a Gamatuki, meanwhile, you Dawagajik, Summit, and Natmagajik, which Guamak. Meanwhile, Kina Eskini Jek, Kinamakas Jek, Kinagucha. Jimmy Gretchen, the knock Amatuki Jik, at Sokame. Kina Gego Gamatuki, Mungo Gishkak, Manda Nishna Bagish. Apachagua, Gimnatag Zim. Aha, meanwhile, Squatch, Gamatuki, Nanda Nishna Bet Kidwanan. No one goes in, meanwhile, Kishay artisan. Mukwendan, Nanda Kidwanan, Panagua. No one goes in, meanwhile, Kishay artisan. Aha, Mishmeo. Just what I said was a big thanks out to everyone, and remember to have fun and be kind in life. Mio.
Okay, I'll go. No one wants to go after that because you guys are nailing it on the head. So you guys have some pretty powerful messages. So thank you for all that. But I'm gonna go. That way I don't get stuck last. So Kwe Gagina, my name's Tammy Webster. I'm from Kigad Zibi Anishinabeg. And I'm actually the Indigenous Education Lead at Waterloo Catholic District School Board. So this brilliant event came together quite quickly, which is, I guess, surprising, but in a way it really is a testament to the work that can be done when people are driven to do it. And I think as we kind of wrap up, I look at the faces around the table. I look at the faces that we had a chance to see for 3 hours, and it really is a testament to a pivotal time for us. We're all speaking up as well-educated, extremely knowledgeable, professional, outstanding individuals. And for me, that is really, that's key, because what we're doing, the work we're doing is for our kids and for our grandkids and for all those generations. So I think we are at a pivot. We are at a strength of that braid where we can continue to do the work, kind of like in Moses' in his work, right? We are those one set of hands, and we're going to help all those other hands to continue the good work. So, Chimigwech, everyone, for a great opportunity / afternoon. My last name is Webster, so I make up words all the time. So thanks again, everyone, and yeah, stay healthy and stay happy.
I can go next. My name is Courtney Gore, the Indigenous Education Lead for the St. Clair Catholic District School Board, and I want to say Chimigwech to this collaborative leads table and all of the speakers and presenters, dancers, and art from Moses today. Miigwech to everyone, and my hope is that youth have continued opportunities to learn from their elders and knowledge keepers and have a chance to learn from the land and their language to be able to build a better future for all. So miigwech, and miigwech Cecil for being part of it today too.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Tina DeCastro. I'm coming from Windsor with my message. Fortunately, I was so happy to see that the Open Minds team at the Greater Essex County District School Board's message was included earlier in a pre-recorded video. I really appreciate that all of our voices were there, because the work that we do is a collaborative work. We do it together. And I just wanted to say thank you to the beautiful messages that were heard. I was working all afternoon while listening to the messages, and they were so inspiring. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if this was playing every day as I worked from my home? So I just want to say thank you, and I want to just echo what Courtney said. It's our youth. They are our hope. And we need to recognize that it's them who we need to raise up and continue to build their strengths and their gifts as we move forward. So happy Solidarity Day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's so beautiful to see you all here. You guys make us so happy to see your faces. What we're going to do now is Jane Burning is in the waiting room to finish off for the day with us. What I'd like to do is, there was one dance that we didn't get a chance to play, Jane, from Tribal Vision. So I will take that video. It's just a minute long, and that will bring us right through to Jane.
Oh,
There she is. Hi.
Okay. Hi there. Scanos fuego.
You might want to position your camera a little bit. There we go. A little bit more.
Is that better or more?
A little bit more. There you go. Then you'll be centered a little bit more. Thank you.
Okay. Scanos fuego. Huascotone yazo. Nyagoi niyago shouta. I'd like to thank the leads, the school boards, and the sponsors, and of course the presenters today for putting together this event for Indigenous Peoples Day. As I watched the presentation throughout the afternoon, it brought a lot of vibrations of hope and some very touching moments as I listened to the songs. And the event, which has been titled, Weaving the Braid of Unity. I thought of it has created a celebration of unity. We have held the sacred space to listen to words of empowerment and encouragement. We have listened to the songs, and they have upheld our spirits. And there were moments of recognition of our people from our brothers and sisters across the territory. And in closing, I would like to encourage everyone to be original, to be the person that you came here to this planet to be. No matter what color your skin is, no matter what racial background that you have or what religion that you follow, that you come here and you awaken who you are originally, that you get in touch with your authentic self and hold that space for yourself to believe in who you are and walk with your head high so that you hold that integrity, that self-respect. And when we step into that awakening of our authentic self, of who we truly came here to be, we will change the vibration on the planet. And this is where we are right now. This is the awakening that is happening on the planet. And we, as First Nations people, as Indigenous people, we have been given the original instructions. And as holders of those original instructions, our connection is to our true mother, the earth. And when we make that connection to our true mother, the earth, everything becomes oneness. We are one with our mother. We are one with the trees and one with the earth, one with the sun and the moon and the planet. And that's what keeps us anchored. That's what keeps us grounded. That's what helps us to know what respect is when we create that oneness. And so I encourage everyone to be original. Be who you came here to be. Step into that place of your authentic self and hold that self-respect and be the love that you're looking for. Again, I want to thank all the presenters. It was such a good day, a moving day, to hear the songs and the music and the dance and the words, everything. And also to our artist, Moses, to be able to see that completed painting. My message of being the original, it goes along with Moses' painting when I listen to his explanation and of how our people came and held that medicine for others to braid and join in. I love that. the way that he incorporated that painting into today. So I want to thank you for all meeting us here, joining us here, and being a part of this weaving the braid of unity. Nyawa sogwego, agatsunoni sahagega watne, daneta. Have a good day.
Thank you, Jane. And thank you so much. Yeah. And I believe we have our young friend Vince back on to finish the day again with his beautiful Thanksgiving address. We'll give him another second to. Yeah, we see him. It's just a matter of if here he is.
Hello, Vince.
Scano.
Hi, I'm Scano. I'm going to be saying the closing in my native language. We do this after all of our gatherings to give thanks to all living things, such as the grass, the water, the trees, and the animals. Dane and Dachowi set on Wednesday, Nate the Unquat seat dug in Drafware, to no hot, they don't hold quat. Nate Scano, I do not know, Nate Nate, always that. Nate go doge, Nate Gayat again Hasha, set Guayho, Nate Tigan Yokto, what go hot. Dane and Dachowi, Sahoyananda, Sahon Punjada, Hoyat 12. Hot day when Stargate, Gowan Hill, Onogatrat, Nitigan Yoko, and Botany go hot. Dane, Dachowi, Negadinio, Gadidatsununges, Nate Neat, Gadidanunges, Nate Gordy Gona, Nate Diwahodes, Nate and Gok Waney, Ishak Ganya, Nate Tigan Yoko, and Botany go hot. Dane, Dachowi, Nate Oneganos, Hawaii, O, Aganya Danyok, Igi Handanyok, Oyano wound up, Nitagani Octo, and Watney go hot. Dane and Dachowi, Nitsigard Nut Chiny, Yan Hiko, Our Hand, Goifuana, Nato, Wednesday, Nitagani Octo, Watney go hot. Dane and Dachowi, Sent De Wawnie, Nagat, Nikadogat, Nitagani Octo, Watney go hot. Dane and Dachowi, Sent Nigaho, Niota, Nagat, Gordy Gorna, Nijisondak. Nate on a good truck. Hajat Gornate, Nady Nate, and Dordaway Nuni. Rego, Deadwan Honio, Nitigani Octo, and Watney go hot. Dane, Dachowi, and Tundiniat no, Nady Nate, Gadisha, Odahedoni, Nagat, Gordy Gornate, Nate Owata, Nato, Hantne, Gown Hill, on a good truck. Hound Hill, Nagat, Goto, Yogoyat, the Die Hot Duke. Nate, Gunaway, Nate, Dewawanye, Nate, and Adoyanone, until the Nyat Note, Nate, Gadisha, or the Hidoni, Nitagani Octo, and Guani go hot. Daneto, Nigat Guani, Eget, a guy get that, Ganyohio, Daneto.
Vince, thank you so much. It was really special for you to be here with us today.